afternoon, everybody. I'm getting ready to go get a haircut, believe that or not. 3:15 today. Finally got in. And I wouldn't have got in if I hadn't have called my barber directly. I get my hair cut down at Cal's, and I've called them several times, and they keep telling me the end of June, 1st of July. The dates go all over the place. So I can get you in July 4th. I can get you in June 22nd. Call them a third time, then I can get you in at June 19th. I don't know what's going on down there and how they run that place, but I finally, my barber actually called me. And I talked to her, and she called me, she had called me Friday, and I did. And then she says, 3:15 tomorrow. Probably got a cancellation. But anyway, I haven't give you any, I'm not going to do news or anything, but I'm going to give you updates. I kind of slacked off on the news and a question and answer. I just felt like I was saying the same things over and over again. I was just, be honest with you, I was just getting bored with it. Some of the updates, the Lofts of Brownwood, which everybody knows about, I'm sure. The Lofts of Brownwood, ready for July 15th move-in. Pre-leasing underway at phase 1 of community. And it's in the paper, you can see there's the Lofts right there. And it's right downtown Brownwood. Literally, you can walk out of the Lofts and walk anywhere downtown Brownwood. It's just, it doesn't get much closer to being downtown as a square. I don't know a whole lot about the Lofts. The rumors are running wild everywhere, and I just don't go down there, and I try not to get in people's way down there. I'm just not going to do it. I just think, you know, I just don't have the guts to do it, to walk around. But they're supposed to have their own amenities there, their own pool, all kinds of stuff. But keep in mind that if you're going to get resident rights and you're going to lease some Lofts of Brownwood for a year or whatever the leases are, I think they're a year. One, it is age restricted, it has to be. So it's 80-20 there. And so the other thing is, with resident rights, that means you have the same rights as property owners. And that means you can go anywhere in the villages and use any of the devices or outdoor exercises, walking trails, rec centers, swimming pools, sports pools, or any village's activity that's sponsored by the villages where you need the resident card pass to get in. You can do any of that. So on the other side of that coin, remember, any resident of the villages can come into your neck of the woods and use your amenities also. That's called resident rights. Some people don't like that. It's just the way it is. The average person in the villages, generally speaking, uses the amenities in their neighborhood area. One is just because of convenience. It's right there. You know, why would I get in my car or my golf cart and go a mile down the road to use a swimming pool somewhere when I've got one that I can walk to down the road? I mean, that's just the way it normally is. But I can if I want to. I can get my golf cart and go to any pool, anywhere. I can go to Hacienda of Mission Hills and use that pool if I want to. I can go anywhere I want and use the village's pool because that's my rights. That's also, as a Lofts of Brownwood resident there with resident rights, that will be your right also. If you play golf a lot, the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go to Lake Sumter Landings and sign up for the village's Wi-Fi service. No, not Wi-Fi service. What is that? Anyway, you tell them what you want. They'll know what you want. It's a village's website. It costs like $7 or $8 a month, and on that website is a ton of stuff. You get email there if you want to use that. I never use it. But basically, it's where you can go line up your golf tee times without calling anybody. You can go on there, you can put in a request, or you can go to a particular golf course you might be interested in, and you can go down through there and you can see where the open tea times are at for that day or 2 days from now, and then you can click on it and put your stuff in. So that's why most people get that, is because of the golf tea times. But also on there is all the different district rules for each district. People sometimes don't know where that is, but it's on there. It'll have districts 1 all the way up to, like, where are we at now? District 12, I think, maybe, I don't know, 13, something like that. It'll have all the districts on there, and you can click on your district and the district rules and regulations will come up. Refrigeration revitalization work pending at Colony Store. The building contractor has applied for a permit to replace the refrigeration and air conditioning units as part of the 7-Eleven convenience store renovation at Colony Plaza. I've heard that rumor about 7-Eleven. There's a Shell gas station there that left. It was there for years. I don't know why it left, but anyway, just one day they closed their doors and they were gone. And I heard 7-Eleven was taken over, and it sounds like that's probably going to be true. So what else do we have? My secretary cuts all these out for me. Sue goes through the newspaper every day. I'm not a newspaper guy. I just don't read it. I don't watch the news. I find it all depressing, all political, all one-sided. No matter which side you get, it's always one-sided, and I just got sick of it, and I just don't watch it anymore. Villages out of area program. Now, they've had this for years. This is something that is not new. When I worked for the CDD office, they had it then, they still have it. I'm sure as years went by, they've tweaked it a little bit, because at one time, people was wanting a lot for nothing, and they had to start tweaking it. So let me read this a little bit to you. Community Watch offers the residents out-of-area program, basically snowbirds, or if you're going to be on vacation for a couple of weeks, you're going to take a cruise for a couple of weeks, or whatever, and if you don't have a neighbor you trust or whatever to keep an eye on your property that's going to be around, or you just don't want to disturb them, that's me. I don't like bothering neighbors. I never did. Out-of-area resident program for people who will be leaving the villages for more than 7 days. Community Watch does not schedule any home checks in this program. The service will only notify participants if a natural disaster such as fire, tornado, or hurricane occurs, and advise homeowners if homes are damaged. It uses emergency contact information provided by homeowners to contact them or other designated people after a natural disaster. Time is critical when responders search homes for injured residents. Listing a home with a resident out of area program lets first responders know that no one is in the home. This program is for emergency purposes only. If you would like your home checked on a regular basis by Community Watch, please refer to the House Check program. There is no fee for this service. For more information, call District Customer Service at area code 352-753-4508. They've offered that a lot. It's very restrictive, though, on what they do. There are certain things they will not do. Now, keep in mind, this is a free program, people. So don't be asking them to be crawling around on your roof and looking for bent shingles and stuff like that. They're not going to do that. And some people just get carried away with all this. It's free. What do you want for free? I hate to sound rude, but some people are just downright crazy. Also, if you do want a good home watch person, go watch my last Wednesday Night Live replay. It's in my files, Wednesday Night Live. I think the last one was Wednesday Night Live 5. Because on there I gave all kinds of information of a home watch service here that does everything for a minimal cost, and it goes anywhere in the villages. So I highly recommend go watch that show and get that information, and let him know that you got that information off Wednesday Night Live. He sponsored that show, by the way, and if we get him enough business, he might sponsor another one. That's why I'm saying. Those who purchase items, let's see, Villages Honor Flight can benefit from purchases you make on Amazon.com. Those who purchase items from Amazon.com have the opportunity to support Villages Honor Flight at no extra cost. Go to SmileAmazon.com and register Villages Honor Flight as your designated beneficiary. Subsequent orders from SmileAmazon.com will result in a 0.5% of the eligible purchases to going to Villages Honor Flight. It costs the buyer no more to participate in this program. The selection of goods and the shopping experience is the same. For more information on Villages Honor Flight, go to www.villageshonorflight.org. And I highly recommend supporting that. Also, the Villages Health expanding southward. The Villages Health is expanding to Lake Deaton Plaza to meet a growing resident demand for primary care services. It's just the latest enhancement to the Villages as America's healthiest hometown, said Bob Trina, the Villages Health CEO. We are trying to stay up with the growth of the Villages, he said. As new villagers move in, we want to be there and open so that we can take care of their health care needs. When completed around midsummer next year, the Lake Deaton Care Center, located east of Morris Boulevard and north of 44, will become available. And of all the different health care centers, the Villages Health is in Mulberry Grove Care Center. The Villages Health is at Santa Barbara Care Center. Villages Health Specialty Care Center at Spanish Springs. Villages Health Care Creekside Care Center at Lake Sumter Landing. Villages Health Colony Care Center. The Villages Health Pinellas Care Center. That's where I go. The Villages Health Brownwood Care Center. That's where I wanted to go. And the Villages Health at Lake Deaton Care Center. That's the new one, which actually is across the Chitty Chatty Bridge. I did a video on that. Go watch it. Chitty Chatty Bridge. When you go across Chitty Chatty Bridge, when that's open for golf cart traffic, it will dump you out right next to the Lake Deaton Shopping Center, and that's where that emergency health care center will be. The Villages has Florida's lowest crime rates. Keeping the Villages Florida's safest area is a group effort. The crime rate in the Villages, expressed as total crimes per 100,000 population, is 1,058, according to FBI statistics for 2018. The latest numbers available. That's the smallest of any census-designated metropolitan statistical area in the state. The Villages MSA includes all of Sumter County, including areas not in the Villages, but not parts of the Villages in Lake or Marion counties, which are part of other MSAs. Much of the Villages lies in unincorporated Sumter County and thus comes under the protection of the Sumter County Sheriff's Office. Part of the reason for the low crime rate stems from the operating philosophy of the department, according to Chief Deputy Chris Hallworth. It's a series of things, he said. Most important is the consistent leadership of Sheriff Bill Farmer to embark on new ideas. Hallworth also said keeping open the lines of communication with county residents has been important. The reality is it's a combination of great citizens who love to work with the Sheriff's Office and the ability of Sheriff Farmer to create that communication. There's all kinds of reasons for that. Also is our gate guards and that whole department. I used to work out on the CDD with the gate guards and all that. And they work very closely with the Sumter County Sheriff's Department here in Sumter County. Matter of fact, at the Community Development District office, back in the back of that office back there is a big office full of TV screens everywhere. Most of them are, those TV screens are connected to the video cameras that are at each manned guard shack. That's what I'll call them. And if anything happens, the sheriff or a deputy can go in there, goes back to the back. He can turn on the cameras accessing to any particular guard shack that he might be interested in, whatever area that is. And he can watch the videos and get whatever evidence or whatever he's looking for. Generally speaking, they're looking for license plate numbers. And they get them license plate pictures off your car. That's why you have to stop for a second. That second you stop, they got your license plate number clean and clear. And generally, I think a picture of the driver of the car. So, and when I worked at the guard shack, there was a particular Sumter County Sheriff deputy that would stop by my guard shack, I don't know, a couple times a week, just to say, hey, how you doing? How's things going? Anything we need to know about? You know, generally speaking, no, ever. But the one time, it was a silver alert. And they were looking for a particular individual, and they stopped by and gave us a paper of what the car was, the license plate number, the man's name, so on and so forth, and keep an eye out for this. So our guards here, if you want to call them guards, they work closely with the sheriff's department. All that goes hand in hand with a lot of things. And so thus we end up with one of the safest, if I want to say the safest, lowest crime rate anywhere in the state of Florida. Number one, for a decade, the Villages was America's fastest growing area over the past decade. And by a large margin, U.S. Census Bureau data released March 26 reveals that the Villages Metropolitan Statistical Area, or MSA, added 39,000 people between April 2010 census and April 2019, which translates to a growth rate of 40.5%. The outpaced the running up Myrtle Beach, South Carolina by 9.2 percentage points. The Bureau defines an MSA as a region anchored by a large urbanized area. The Villages MSA encompasses all of Sumter County, which now boasts a total population of 132,420. The American Legion Post 347 in Lady Lake is the largest in the world, boasting more than 6,800 members. Not a surprise, since the nation's second highest concentration of veterans resides here, with more than 19,000 who have served their country. The largest numbers represent the Vietnam War era. Hugely large veteran population here. Thus, the Eisenhower Recreation Center. The median age of those living in the Villages Metropolitan Statistical Area is 67 years old, more than 8 years older than the next oldest median age of all MSAs in the United States. In addition, 87.5% of villagers own their own homes, also tops in the nation. I think most people that live here, and you know, I don't know what all the statistics are. The way I understand that, own their own home, I'm understanding that to mean that they paid cash for their home. That's the way I interpret what that said. This is the recreational guide. We get this every month in the newspaper. And basically there's several articles in here about some of the activities here. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but they are starting to open things up a little bit. Softball, big softball here. A lot of softball fields, and it's big. Opening May 18th is the pickleball, recreational parks and things, I believe is what they're talking about. So the recreation things are going to start opening up. I can't read a lot of that. I think that's about it what I got for the updated news of what's going on around here. So I got a haircut appointment at 3:15, plus I'm working on some videos for next week. I'm still working on my next Wednesday night live show. I've still got an audio problem on my intro. I can hear it in there. I've been in contact with YouTube many times. They're telling me they don't hear nothing. That's the update news from the Villages. And so y'all have a good day, and I'll see you all on the other side.